I'm thinking if we had gotten like a class that the equivalent of that premarital counseling, it helps sort out a lot of things. You know, it brings these issues to life. And imagine if you're going every weekend and you have a week to go and reflect.
Yes, together. It
Together.
will build and make the marriage stronger.
And then you're going back home to face the same woman or the same man.
Yeah.
And then you have to go through these issues. It's different from before.
Yeah, and it actually almost makes you make it work.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you have this thing
Exactly.
that there's a commitment.
You're together.
So you're going through that. And then
there's a commitment, there's a covenant.
Yeah.
You know, it's because now it's a
We are
commitment.
working on it.
We are working on it. It reminds you of the most crucial things. So it should be really a post-marital counseling class that happens in the cycles of life.
Yes.
The first
the
year,
cycles of the marriage.
the cycles of the marriage. The first year is a very crucial one, and then we've not gotten to those many others. But I can imagine
year 1 is good.
Year
year
5 is
crucial.
good. Year
7
10
is critical.
Yeah, those ones.
10, 9,
those
12
ones.
to 10
The teenage
is another
ones.
One. Once you pass there, you're good.
A couple that got into their teenage years, they told me just like with teenagers, they also get marriages at their teenage years get also very stormy. Like age 12, 13, they get very, very stormy.
So we can say maybe year 1, year 5, year 7, year 10,
12,
and then maybe 12, 13.
Yeah.
Those
Those
are
kinds of
critical
years.
places.
You know,
Even
like
at 25.
Yeah.
Because the kids have left.
Yeah.
That's another
So now
one.
you're
and
together.
If you have no life,
So if
Yeah.
we have no,
you look at each
that
other
is
one
why
time,
we
what do we do with each
disappear
other?
and
Yeah.
get-
So those kinds of times. Yeah, because then when you are during our first 15 months together, you know, when we wake up and at times you're wondering,
15 months of the marriage.
Yeah, 15 months of the marriage, you know, the time that we lived together and we are living together, but also we are like kind of alone, yet again married, yet again trying to figure it out, yet again we love each other, yet again we are excited about each other, yet again we are not. It's a mix of things. Yet again, at times we are carrying bile and anger and just, you know, it's a whole lot of, it's a mix of things. We had really a mix of things that we didn't even quite understand each other, and we didn't. And then also being we are like solution providers, but she's a firstborn, I'm a firstborn. We'd rather provide solutions for others.
For other people, but you don't want to
Let me
talk
tell
about
you,
your own problems.
I would wake up, look at her and think, yes, I love you, but you know, I would not want to spend this day with you today. And probably she would do the same with me. And so we would, and then we got pregnant with our first baby in the course of that time. So we are looking forward to a baby. So there's that excitement of looking forward to our first child. Yet again, we have a lot of unsorted issues. So it was a mix of many things. And then I started working in an organization that
point number 9, children do not solve problems.
This is it. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Children do not solve problems.
Oh yeah, they are not a runaway.
You're just bringing an innocent soul to another
yes.
mother.
Oh yeah. They are actually not a runaway to anything. They are not. They actually. They are not a runaway to anything. A child. If you think that such an innocent soul, even when they come, such an innocent soul, I'll just hold them and we will be good. No, they'll
pick it.
They'll pick
They
it.
also pick it.
They'll pick it, yeah. And if we're not careful, we also create an environment that is not conducive for them to be full and whole. Yeah, because if we have unsorted issues, then they permeate and they have a way to just create an environment that is not really the best for them. So it's important that then we reflect. If we really want a home that can be considered a home that is also effective for their upbringing, then issues must constantly be sorted, and that's why it's important to be on a journey of betterment and bettering, and constantly doing that. And so
you worked.
Yeah. So then I moved on, and where we were working before, we both changed jobs, and she was working at a church, and we both had a particular stage, and quite a lot of young people. We were both sort of like lay preachers, and so we had an audience. It brewed a whole mess, you know, for health and wealth of our stay, and both as individuals and us. It contributed enormously to a lot of what would be the cause of how we would then go. So I took a job as a general manager of an organization that works with what we call the key populations.
Yes. They have also to point to cover it. Key population. Yeah, for donor. Why key population? What do you mean key population? First of all, let me get this started. What key population? Are they key?
No. It's an industry.
I can get collapse right now.
No. Okay.
Why the term?
It's an industry.
Cover up. Okay, I'm saying why key population?
So it's an industry
key
term.
To who?
It's it's an industry
term. Key
to
unlocking what?
No. It's an industry term that is used because for HIV, for the entire HIV field, the LGBTI and sex workers and many others are the most vulnerable when it comes to getting infected with HIV, and therefore when there is interventions for prevention and treatment of HIV, they start with them. So in that regard, that's the only.
They are key.
Okay, so they are key.
So in that regard,
key in terms of the research. And
anyway,
the trials and
yeah,
everything.
exactly. Okay. So in that regard,
I took. Have money. That field has money.
That field has money.
So,
and that's people to fund
so
it.
when I took on a job, I took on a job which I innocently took to do general management, to be a general manager of the organization.
The key population. But what were you thinking? First of all, I know on good record that the wonderful pastor that you thanked told you not to go.
Yes. So
you went against the wishes of your pastor.
Yes.
Had you discussed it with your wife?
Yes, we had.
Was she for it or not for it?
We had different views.
Politically correct.
We had different views.
Were you for it or not for it?
No, but no, I was not for it. But at the time, he was not working. And so he needed
a job.
Yeah, not even a job, a place to fulfill purpose. Because you see, again, the key population are young people, where his heart.
That's true, where his heart is.
Yeah, and really, when you look at JD, when you look at the JD, it was everything that MaqC was passionate about. You know, their health, so even as they're presenting the cake, the food on the table, that's what he wants. It's appetizing. It's beautiful. He's going for management.
So roles. really, the role on paper was not going to be against a lot of things. Yeah. So the decision to take the job was made, should I say, soberly, based on what angled accordingly to a lot of things that I would not be against at the time. Yeah?
Just to bring in something that dropped in my spirit, because I don't know, we've done an earlier video today talking about environment and talking about how we're talking about politics and how we need people to get into the political arena, really solid Christians, strong Christians, so that we can go and influence. But I think what we need, and I said it I think earlier, is that we need to first be developed as Christians. I think this is what this is about, the KBS, the PLF space, and any other space around the world that's like that, or even in Kenya, because I don't say that. Remember, we say this revelation from God cannot only just be happening here; it must be happening in other places. But the thing is, I think we need to be prepared. So I think even today we could go back there and be very different. Because why? We have been empowered, we've been prepared, we've been equipped. We also understand the power of environment and what it is that we're going to do. So I think what you did, I feel like almost like a Moses. It's like Moses was going to be the savior of the children of Israel. When he killed the Egyptian, it was not time. That was not the time when he needed to go and do that. Then he went out into the wilderness and was prepared for another 40 years to come back now and do what he was supposed to do, to be a deliverer for the children. So this is just a point just to make for everyone, even myself, is that the reason, because when you send Christians into politics, they usually are politicized. I mean, the Christianity vanishes and they just conform. But it's not only just politics. I think there are many places where we send Christians, but instead of them, impacting and influencing, they become
part of the system.
System, or you just like, maybe just surrender.
Let's
just
flow.
I give up.
Let me just flow. Let's move. So you and it's no fault of any person. But I think looking at what God is doing and the wisdom of God is actually He's preparing. First, He has to prepare us very, very well. Accordingly to be able to tackle that. And then to be fair, also let me also bring in, like going to the US and staying there for 6 weeks, you can lose it as a Christian. First of me, I'm a strong I'm not just a Christian. I'm the
you
pastor.
have a ministry.
I have a ministry. I have passion. And what are the ministry? But me and God, honestly, we are very intimate, tight. You know, we pray, we laugh. I mean, it's a very strong relationship. But that country, my goodness, you can forget there was a God. Why also, I think, although we have to do a video about that, is that there's too much order.
Yeah.
When there's too much order, that's why, and people say, I don't know if there's the right thing to say, a wrong thing to say, but that's why you have to send another hurricane, another storm to remind people, somebody is in charge.
It's the Tower of Babel
to show you
perspective.
God is here. That's the only. I was shocked. I was even, you know, some of the news programs I watch, I was laughing. You know me, I have a comedy time with God. Las Vegas, center of I don't even know what. They were talking about God. I was like, these people, please, excuse me. No, that was the governor. The governor, first of all, he spoke like 10 men. So I was so happy. He said that everyone should take a moment of silence and pray for the victims. I was like, this is national television. Governor of Las Vegas. Keyword prayer. For sure. God, you got their attention.
Yeah.
You know, because this when there's too much order, and I guess it's the same thing if you don't think about the US, even let's say we talk about here in our Kenyan context, maybe when you're too successful, what do? Forget God.
Relax.
Yeah. Or then you start making stupid statements like, I'm self-made. Self-made. Life can end right now. I'm going to show you you are self-made. Let me show you how self-made you are. You know, then maybe somebody ends up in hospital or something. It's the vulnerable moments that make you realize there is a God. And I was just saying that even there in the US, if you're a Christian, you really have to be a very deliberate, very intentional about your Christianity, about your prayer, about where you invoke God, because you can forget about it. So I think it's the same with any environment. Whatever environment you enter, if God is sending you there to advance and establish His kingdom, you have to be very aware and very deliberate of how you approach it.
Yeah.
Because that now will help us not fail, but also preparation.
Yeah.
I think all these KBS, PLF things is
They're
about
very
preparation.
key for preparation.
Very key for preparation and for strength. And even the way that, you know, the way we pray together, that fellowship, there's something about that corporate prayer, you know, because we go through things.
Yeah.
But if we were going through alone, I think they would have been.
You'll be swallowed.
Yeah. But when we have each other, you know, like the way we have the prayer watches,
it's a
we have people
community
pray.
of
That's
prayer.
an army praying, you know, praying for each other, making sure that we move forward. And it's a strategy. Because prayer is a strategy. And it's a very serious strategy, but even it's how you do it. I love the way Daddy Gio explained it. It made me I was like, wow, yeah, that's true. He said, you see, if everybody comes corporate prayer, if I light up my stick from home, my stick with fire, and then it's just one stick. That's it's not got a lot of it. When I come and we put it together, 100 of us put all our sticks there, we create the biggest fire.
True.
So now we know that even if we're to reach people for Christ, even in difficult places, the first thing we also need we need prayer, we need corporate prayer, we need intercessors, we need people who are standing on the wall. We need a lot of stuff to keep going with God. But I was just going to say, I think even just to maybe if somebody's watching and you're feeling like that, your Christianity is waning, you need to kickstart it. And if God is calling you to go into places to influence for the kingdom of God and to influence positively, get prepared. Properly prepared and properly equipped. Because even me, there was same as Galavati, I was like, when's the last time I talked to my God? Woo, God, this place, You know, you can also become very busy, very caught up in many things, but you're not praying. You're not connecting. You're not, there's a source, there's a strength, you know, that's of God. And I don't know, I was even explaining how there was turbulence on the plane. And I don't like turbulence. So whenever I'm coming into a plane, I start rebuking every spirit. I start rebuking no pilot errors, technical errors, mechanical errors, environmental, demonic errors, no errors. And then I say, angels go before us and clear the turbulence. So there was turbulence. I hate turbulence. That turbulence of I promise this thing is going down. It's when you remember, where are we again? Are we okay? These are the things. Why are we in the air? What did we do? Then at we were over water. I was turning myself into a frenzy of this turbulence and asking God, see, there's no turbulence, but the turbulence was really bad. But then at some point, I just realized I can't die. It was quite a vivid moment. It was like God was like, hey, Pastor Angie, please, people are waiting for you in Nairobi, number one. Ministry is waiting, number two. Vision's book has not been finished, so it's not time to die. So sit back, relax, and sleep.
I've got this.
I got this. And you know, it got me to that point. But anyway, I don't know. How do we get there? back to key population.
All right. So the long and short of that part is that it, of course, got family and friends and church very concerned that so what direction is MaqC taking, and of course it had a huge impact on what. Now we think that what others say does not have an impact.
But it does.
It does. It does, because
live in a vacuum.
you know, every so often I'd be in the newspaper because there's this statement that has been issued that I needed to comment on or something. I remember on a particular day that we needed to make particular statements, and I was in Uganda. Waithera calls me and, oh, you're in the newspaper saying this. And the way they had put it is the chairperson of the gay community of Kenya. Whoa, you know, already that is a shocker, because imagine now people are calling.
Not people,
your
parents.
My mother calls her. You know, like, wait, your husband is the gay community chairperson. That time she's pregnant. So she's pregnant. Your husband, you're pregnant. I mean, there's a lot of questions that, you know, it was a very confusing. Genuinely, if we are just to unleash that particular angle alone, that storyline alone, is so long and is so confusing. But it took a toll. It took a toll on the family. It took a toll on her. It took a toll on me, you know, because you're having to explain things that you are not. It's stories that are unfounded, and then, but it's difficult because there is you work. You're in the newspaper. You're the spokesperson. So what's the story really? Are you not? What's going on? Why?
First of all, you have an earring.
Then I have an earring.
Comrades.
Then I forgot to wear an earring. You know. Then I'm team light skin. For a dude that's a sell of points. You know. So. There was just so many things that were not adding up to the public. So it was just a ridiculous amount of pressure.
But you know what helps? Friend. As much as we are doing all this mathogodhanyo and the world is talking and maybe we can't stand each other, the statement on friendship still took ground. I think for me that's why. Yeah, you keep talking, but we are still friends. So sometimes you allow your friend to go niche. You go niche, I'm here, I'm chilling. But I think at that point for me was the stress was too much. It was just to ask myself, I have a pregnancy, I have a child. Sasa mtu akiambiwa rudi kwa mamake, so now me, you know, may have this child that depends on me. So it became something that I learned from one of our leaders here, Felix, a disengaged spouse. I was like, sasa friend, you sort yourself out, because now my life is in danger, the child we are carrying is in danger. And that's how now the bridge happened.
And you see, as any mother, that's your first call of action. Actually, you disengage because as long as my child has to be safe, my first instinct is to protect this child and to protect myself, you know. So you disengage.
Physically and also spiritually then at that time. Because people are saying things, you know, you don't want those things to be picked somewhere, and also emotionally.
And she disengaged, I disengaged, and we disengaged.
And that was 15 months.
Now we were the USA. You know, the USA has every different state, but there's a ruling. There's an overall governing, but we are the Americas. Yeah, we have all constitution in Idaho, Oklahoma. You know, so.
And that was 15 months.
15 months. Yeah, it was accelerated.
It was part of that 15 months. It was not necessarily after 15. It was part of the 15 months. Yeah. So the actual it's at the 15th month that we just call it quits. And slightly before our child was born, she went home, and then now as part of so her returning home to Kohiuherio.
To her parents.
Yes, Kohiuherio.
To be what now? Hey, how do you say it in English? I don't know. Is that an English word?
No.
I guess to when you have a baby and then
to be nurtured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back to health.
Yeah. Was part of the full departure of like closing shop.
Because our crown prince came a week after I left.
Yeah.
A week after you left.
Yeah. So I left on the
14th.
The day I will never forget. 14th of February, 2012. Yeah. When people are, let me tell you, the devil is a liar.
Have your space.
People are being all rosy. It's the love, Nini. Nyabuko packing. We have left. You know.
That was the EDD for baby.
Yeah, the baby was to come 14. On that day.
Yeah.
So, but came on the 21st.
Yeah.
So a week after.
So what I'm feeling also is that the pressure, sometimes we do this is an African way that we do things. Now instead of saying I'm leaving completely, you said I'm leaving so that I can go with my mom and have the baby, or did you leave and say this
No,
marriage
it was
is
for
over?
I have went.
I have went.
Yeah, past
go is
tense.
to go.
Yeah, off
Going
is
is
on
going.
me. I'm not
Is
a
off.
person of grey areas.
Thank you. It has to be black and white.
Yeah.
So
But
you are off.
in
It's
my
off.
head, though, imagine it wasn't looking like it's off.
Yeah, but
Because
you guys, that's also bad. You don't bury your head.
let me tell you,
You are looking like she's got to be committed.
because
to have the baby and then come
especially because there was conversations about that possibility. Are we going to have? We had just moved house into a slightly bigger one. So are we going to have the folks come over, or So there was a bit of that kind of conversation. So I wasn't so sure what exactly would pan out as. So even when she's saying I've gone, I was like, let's see. So but it was for going. Exactly.
Off is off. But because you have given. Okay, now from a victim perspective. Yeah, for I have given. Aki say I have given. Aki, even the last trace that I have your name, Ma, I have given. So really, I have nothing else to give. So how about you sort yourself out? This large monkey, sort it out. But we still have heart issues. Both of us, we have heart issues. So you sort it out. Let me first go take care of myself and the child. Where we meet, imagine it's all right, but off is off. Yeah.
And I think it started now hitting. So baby came, and I think now a lot of stuff began hitting the week now into her leaving, because I was planning that 14th to start taking, because EDD was 14th. I was planning to take paternity. So I'm planning for paternity leave, but then there's all these things leaving. There's a lot of conversations going on in the head, and then now is when it started slowly dawning. When is baby coming? What exactly is that leaving supposed to be like? And then slowly now, if we thought that before it was bad, the real issues began after the left-in.
Yeah.
That's when the issues began, because now baby coming was a whole drama, because then of course we had pictured how it would be, but then there's a lot of turmoil, and so we can't quite even be in the same space anymore. So that alone is tumultuous. And then
how could you not be in the same space and you have a child? So would you come visit the child?
Now that there was a lot of drama, there was just a lot
But it was also self-imposed drama. Like I think just because of feeling, because the place is open. Just come and say, I want to see. But now when you rudisha yourself and like, am I worth it? And then there's a history that is here reminding you. Kwanza, you remember who you are, eh? And like, no, I'm not worthy. I mean, I think felt the same way on his regard. And all these are thoughts in our heads. Yet the environment, our parents really are like, our children, are you safe?
So in our heads, I think there's a song that just say in the head, that's where the enemy thrives. Let me tell you, the battlefield in our heads. I think what was happening in between her ears and in between mine, and of course the state of our hearts, would not even disallow us, or at least we felt like we were not worth each other at all. So reaching out was very hard. The attempt to reach out, if at all any feedback came, it would be sieved through layers upon layers of things, and therefore it was even harder after we left, because then you've not been with this person. You don't know how they slept, how they woke up, what they're thinking. On my end, I didn't know how it was happening with her and the baby and the family on that end. I don't know how she was thinking about me. So
you just stopped trying?
No. I continue to, but
the thing, I'm also talking about people out there. I think that's
something
that happens because now you've created all sorts of stories in your head space, which are probably not true stories, and then they're assumptions and perceptions, and then now you just end up,
and then you feel
rejecting.
Here is what you feel you're doing. You feel you're trying so much, but you feel that every single trial you're having is not being met or resistant. And I think on her end, she feels the same. So you are not in any, you feel like you're not even ever going to communicate, or you feel that a day that has gone without communicating is like many months. And the truth is, it's many, many, many months. So one day turns into a week turns into a month turns into many months. And for us, it turned into very many months. 2 years, 2.5 years into zero conversation. Like we would only communicate on email.